No, my own mic is off now. No, okay. Hello. 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 Welcome everybody to the book launch of my footprints. Hello.
Thank you. We are hearing you. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Welcome everybody. Hello everyone. Once again, welcome everybody to the book launch of my footprint by Engineer Ogundele. But try to do the setup now in a few minutes. We'll start up properly. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Just connecting to.
Moderator, we are not hearing from here.
And we invite Pastor Engr to please pray for us. First of all, for the event. Thank you. Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you. We are not hearing from here. Shall we pray now? This pandemic. We thank you for your grace upon your son, Engr Ogundele, for writing this book. Father in heaven, please accept our thanks in Jesus' name. We thank you for preserving his life all these years that he has been in you. We thank you for making a shining light. Father, accept our thanks in Jesus' name. Amen. We commit this program into your hands. We ask, oh Lord, that you be our Alpha and Omega. We pray, Lord, that you will take over this program and make it successful. And at the end, Lord, let this book be a blessing to humanity. Thank you, Father, because you have answered. In the name of Jesus Christ, we have prayed.
Amen.
Please, a round of applause for that. Have a seat. Have a seat. And I'm glad, as one of the, let's say, one of the youngest in the room, to see my elders in the room that has made a path for us, the diaspora path. And today we are here to hear more, know more, and listen more on the diaspora talk, and mostly the diaspora story of our dear engineer Ogundele, engineer. Without wasting up much of our time today, I want to invite the chairman of today's event to give us his remark, and that is the person of His Excellency, Ambassador Suleiman Dada Umar of the Nigeria, ambassador of our dear country, Nigeria, is here in Vienna. Your Excellency.
For this,
I'm sorry about that.
but it's okay. As diplomats, our trend is how do we confuse people. First, let me thank you for finding time to come celebrate our friend, our brother, and one of the icons of diaspora here in Vienna. I know Yemi, as I used to call him, or Ogundele, as far back as 2009 when I crossed over from UK. We met at the IAEA, then as an officer. We always interact. We advise ourselves, and we also attack ourselves. In life, no matter how close you are to a person, if all the time people say praises of good about you, then it means you are not living according to tenets of life. For in life, you must, no matter what, do something that will not be palatable to a person, even if it is once. And when you do it, you move on. Because whatever comes will pass. Ogundele's book, the diaspora footprint, so my diaspora footprints, is a story about journey in life. First, somebody transited to places that is to London before he was nearly deported out, and he had to find his way here. The book contains stories about the struggles of life or struggles in a man's life. There are lessons for our younger ones. There are lessons for our hosts to see that whatever they do to somebody who is a passerby or somebody who is on transit may turn out to be for the betterment of their own system and also for his own benefit also. So I commit the book to you. You should read it. I have informally obtained copies, which I have put in our library in the mission, and that is how, as part of his own contribution to to the development of our dear country. Or anytime anybody happens to go there, he can go there, read, even if it is just a paragraph. That would have added improving his own thoughts and then his own mind. So once again, Amy, congratulations to you. To your wife, who has continued to maintain you despite you are staying awake to write. And for us, we are reaping from our investment as a country, because you have been carrying my passport, the green passport, even if you have changed. At least that green is there before the red one. So congratulations. And I wish you all the best.
Your Excellency, talking about diaspora, Engineer Yemi is a true story of diaspora itself. I remember my first coming to Austria, and I cannot forget the kind of warm welcome that he gave, and how he included me in both the Nigerian society and in NIDO, and basically all activities that the Nigerians in diaspora here in Austria, whatever activity that is going on, Engineer Yemi will always call me and say, come, we need you. And for that, please, let's give him another round of applause. He's still keeping the diaspora spirit flying, and that is, it has translated even into his book, and I think it deserves more round of applause one more time. We have a goodwill message from Honorable Abike Dabri, who is the chairman and CEO of NICOM. One of the diaspora bodies that is recognized by established and recognized as one of the established organizations that controls and manages all diaspora affairs around the world. I don't know if we have that ready now.
Sure, John.
Yeah, and shortly we'll hear from her. She's going to give us.
Are you ready for me? I'm here.
Yes, well, go ahead, man.
All right.
Okay, because I'm going to leave very soon, but I had to be here because number one, Mr. Ogundele is not just a friend and a brother, but he is one of our topmost diasporans. So, Your Excellency, the Ambassador, I pay my respect and compliments, and thank you for your kind words. And I look forward to hopefully visiting soon and meeting our people over there. Thank you for all you've been doing. They speak very well about His Excellency. The chief celebrant, my brother, Engineer Ogundele, congratulations for today. I mean, that you were able to put this book together, your footprints telling your diaspora stories, amazing. I've been able to go through a part of the book, and it is very, very interesting. And I recommend everybody to take a look at it. And I'll tell you what is interesting about this book is that it tells a story. And for the younger Nigerians that are planning to relocate, you know, there's a lot to learn from it. You can't stop migration, legal or illegal migration. But the thing is, you must make sure you go on be properly documented, and rather go on legal migration. It's tough enough for the legal migrants, not talk of the illegal ones. So looking at Engineer Ogundele's stories, what he went through, the challenges and all that, to who you are today, you know, working with the Atomic Agency, we're so proud of you. And I hope that, you know, more of you will put together a book like this so that others can learn from your stories and know that it's not all a bed of roses. You have to work hard. There's no alternative to hard work. Now, we also recently just did a publication, 600 diasporas at 60, diaspora icons at 60. It was our own way of putting together Nigerians that are excelling everywhere in the world. And we thought we would do 600 because we're 60, but we had to put the plus because we just couldn't stop at 600. I'm glad that Engineer Ogundele, and I'm sure all of you in the room, including my brother, Naidoi, President, Mr. Bashir, who I'm sure is here, you're all featured in this book. So I hope that subsequently, we have to rebrand Nigeria through its people. We have to rebrand Nigeria through people like you, doing great things all over the world. And that is what we'll be focusing on. How come we have so many talents all over the world and we're still the way we are? How come we have so many people doing great things and our country is the way we are? So it's important that we work with the diaspora. I mean, there's just no debate about it. Now you have a diaspora commission, you have the House Committee on Diaspora, you have the Senate Committee on Diaspora, you have a diaspora policy, and which means that every ministry, department, and agency will have a diaspora desk. Already we have at the Ministry of Health, we have at EFCC, we're working with the Federal Housing Authority on a diaspora city, we're concluding the diaspora mortgage policy plan with the Federal Mortgage Bank, and a whole lot of programs for the diaspora. November 16, 17, I urge you all to participate in the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit. It's a hybrid event. Investors who want to invest in Nigeria. Yes, there's security challenges, no doubt about it, but you know what? We will resolve them. Everything will be done to build the Nigeria of our dreams. So we can't do it alone. We need you, the diaspora. And I know that if Nigerians at home work with Nigerians in the diaspora, we will truly become the greatest country in the world, no doubt about that. And then I want to appeal to you finally that we have to stop demarketing our country. I mean, it's wrong for Nigerians to go out there and be, showing red state Nigeria flag. Or you can hate me, you can hate the president, but not your country. Or whichever way, this is our country. For those of you in the diaspora, you have somewhere to run to. We have nowhere to run to. So let's be the #1 ambassadors of our country, as the president always says. So Engineer Ogundele, thank you for putting this together. It's a book that I will recommend to everybody, and we'll also ensure that Newcom purchases some copies of the book. These days we don't announce prices, but we'll purchase copies of the book, and we will ensure that we tell as many people as possible about the existence of this book. So we're proud of you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the passion for your country, and thank you for making us all so very proudly Nigerian. And I thank you all for participating, and thank you all for putting this together. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that wonderful remark. Please, for those of us online, bear with us with online connection. But I believe you on the other side, you enjoy the program even more better than us here because of the audio. You have better audio than us. So we move forward or move on with the agenda. We also have a Google message from Dr. Bashir Olalekan of Basekola, who's the chairman, Naidu Europe.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here.
So you have his message. It's online also. So
yes,
please let's listen to his message. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me start by observing the little protocol, which is I want to recognize His Excellency, the Ambassador of Nigeria to Austria, Ambassador Suleiman Umar, Honorable Abuke Dabiri Erewa, the CEO, Chairman NITCOM, and of course, my able friend, Engineer OLUYEMI Ogundele, and other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy, I'm delighted to be here at this presentation of, a book, an autobiography of my friend, my diaspora blueprint by Engineer OLUYEMI Ogundele, a friend, a fellow compatriot in the diaspora, and a formidable member of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization Europe, in which I'm the current continental chairman. So it's a pleasure for me, and also I can say an honor, that I'm the chairman at this moment of history making this launching of a first type of it that at least as far as I know of one of us launching a book of about himself, about how life has or how his life has been moving from Nigeria to the diaspora, and how he has been throughout his team after 40 years assessing it and and looking and making the story to be relevant and what I can say like treating and teaching us, especially the young ones, about life in Europe and how you can make it if you are focused. So it is a pleasure being here today. I want to congratulate my friend Engineer Ogundele for this epoch-making event, that you are able to put together this book. Of course, when you first told me that I should also, I ought to say, I'm happy that my testimonial about the book and about your personality in relation to me and the diaspora, was able to make it into the book at the end of the day, which is, I want to also acknowledge that, and I say, it's also an honor for me that, I'm able to, contribute, a page to your book. Of course, the book is a book that, of course, I've said, many people have said much about it. It's a story about yourself, but at the same time, it's a story about most of us that left Nigeria in the 80s. And most of us left, just like many of our forefathers, I mean, before the people who struggled for Nigeria independence, they left Nigeria, for studies. They were very willing to come back because Nigeria was a good place for everybody to come back to. And when we left Nigeria also for greener pasture, for education, many of us were willing to come back. So I also mentioned it that, we are like, as far as I'm concerned, myself personally, I'm an accidental diaspora. I never planned to stay outside of Nigeria after my studies, but circumstances led to that. So when life brings you to a particular position, you don't useless it, you rather make use of it for the betterment of both your life and also to the people around you, including that includes Nigeria. So we that are in diaspora, we have never left Nigeria physically. We left Nigeria physically, but emotionally we have not left Nigeria. And Engineer Ogundele is one of us of such that feels that every day, anything that happens in Nigeria happens to us, even though it might not be physical, but emotionally. And that also speaks to the fact why we are very active in Nigeria in diaspora organization, because we want to also pay back that even though in Nigeria we are not there physically, but we are emotionally attached to this country, and we will do everything possible to contribute to the development of that country. And we have done it, and Engineer Ogundele has even done it even more, quietly so, that, he has been able to, be part and very active in the Nigerian diaspora and the Nigerian community, and also promote Nigerian traditions and culture. So I want to also comment that you can see him in Adire, and all the Nigerian, especially Yoruba, costume, and that's also motivates most of us that have left Nigeria, so that we won't forget Nigeria also in terms of culture. So once again, I want to congratulate you and congratulate all of us who are living in Nigeria, even though we are away from Nigeria in terms of our emotions. So I want to congratulate all of us for being part of this occasion today, and I wish all of us all the best. I recommend the book, of course, we saw in my testimonial. So, and I think all of us should have it, have a copy, and also encourage others to buy it, and have it as our sources of information and confirmation of some of the emotions that some of us have for Nigeria. So I wish everybody all the best, and my friend Engineer Ogundele, all the best in your future endeavors, and many happy returns of your birthday, and we will celebrate more of you by God's grace. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful speech and remark. And right now we'll proceed. We invite Miss Sarah Ugo. Please permit me from pronouncing it correct. Now.
Yeah, you can take that. That's why we have this. That's why we have this. We really like this, huh? Because you have to read from the district. Yes. So oh, yeah,
good evening, everyone. To His Excellency, good evening, and all the guests here. And of course, to the main inspiration we are here, the author himself, Mr. Okundele. Thank you very much for putting me as part of the team to speak on your book, your diaspora footprints. Well, as we gathered here to talk about Mr. Okundele's book, we could talk about his many achievements, such as President of NANCA, or Chairmanship of NIDO, or his awards as the Ambassador of Peace that was awarded by the Universal Peace Federation, and the Nigerian Student Union Merit Award for outstanding leadership given by the Nigerian Embassy, NANCA Leadership Award, NIDO Europe Hall of Fame, and perhaps my favorites, the prestigious Nobel Peace Award that was given in 2005, and the IAE, as part of the IAE group, for the use of nuclear energy for peaceful means, rather than as a warfare tool for which it is widely known. And all of this, of course, you find in the diaspora footprints. But today I'd like to really focus on four areas of key areas of this book and the things I noted about Mr. Okundele as he made his sojourn to Europe to find greater pasture, so to speak. And so I want to focus on four key main areas. And the first is about dream. Of course, wanted to be go out in the world and achieve things. Of course, you know you cannot start off anywhere without dreaming. It all starts with dreams. But then that's just the beginning, of course, because when you dream, you have to ask yourself, why am I dreaming this dream? If I'm going to Europe, why am I going to Europe? Why am I so desperate to go to Europe? From what I read of the book, Mr. Okundele was quite, I wouldn't use the word desperate, but he was quite enthused about going to Europe. And he said he had always wanted to study in Europe. And that's the purpose. His purpose was to come to Europe to study. And why is this important? Because everything starts with when you dream dreams and say, I want to achieve this. What's the purpose for wanting to achieve that thing? Most of us come to Europe, some of our people come to Europe and they don't ask that question, why? What's the purpose for my coming to Europe? Why do I want to come to Europe? And sometimes even when they ask this question, most of them don't have the right answer. And oftentimes the answer they have is, oh, I want to go to Europe to make money. And that's really the problems that we encounter. That's the biggest problem within our society, not just the Nigerian society, perhaps the African society. Because the thing is that if you start off on a journey to a place and your focus is to make money, the likelihood is that you will fall into bad company. Then Mr. Okundele mentioned that in his book about some of the unsavory acts of some of people. Why did Mr. Okundele not fall into this act? Because most people think, oh, Nigerians, we've all had stories. Like I said, it always has to start with a purpose for your going to a place. Are you asking yourself the right questions? Why am I going to this place? As I said, when your focus is to become rich, you will miss the entire, reason for why you were even created. And of course, if your purpose is to become rich, that is very selfish. Because after you have become rich, so what? What next? Because if all your focus is to make that money, once you make that money, you find that there's nothing else to think about. And when that happens, what moment please? Anyway, so like I said, so that was the purpose. So Mr. Okundele had that part, very commendable. The next is the focus. You have to actually, when you set out to do something, it's not just enough to say, okay, I want to become something. You need to be focused because there are going to be all kinds of things to distract you. For example, when Mr. Okundele came, I'm sure he encountered some of these distractions, but the purpose was so fixed on itself, unfortunately for him, because when he came, he couldn't go to London and then he ended up coming accidentally. I like to say accidentally on purpose because sometimes we think what we want, we plan what you want, but God has the ultimate purpose. Because that's another thing in this Okundele's book. He's a very God-fearing man. And so, in a sense, you would have thought, okay, I wanted to go to London and I missed it, but I like to think that he accidentally missed it on purpose, and the purpose was determined by God. I would like to think that. Anyway, so the problem, like I said, with most people is that when they come to Europe, they are looking for money instead of knowledge, purpose. Mr. Okundele came here saying he wanted to study, he had that in his mind. And the moment he arrived here, that was what he did. When he arrived in Vienna, fortunately, he met with someone, in Innsbruck. He met with a student, someone who was already a medical student. And that's another thing that I want to touch on. The people that you know, the people that you surround yourself with, is very, very important in achieving anything that you want to achieve. And Mr. Okundele was, I would not say lucky, I would say blessed to have, met people, the right kinds of people to surround himself with. But the thing about that is you might have the right kind of people, but your mindset actually has to be that you want to take advantage of these right kinds of people, the things that they have to offer you. Because one of the things that I found also within our society, you could have all of these right people surround you, but you have to want the good things that they have that you can benefit from them. So knowledge faces one knowledge. My father used to say that what you forget is the one that should take with you anywhere. It's very, very important. When you have knowledge, when you come with that right set of now, and you're able to acquire knowledge the same way Mr. Okundele did, you will go far. The thing about money is that if you have that money, if you're focused on that money and you have it in your pocket, my father used to say that the money you have in your pocket, it can be taken from you. For example, if you have that money in your pocket, the very thing that you're wearing can be stripped from you. And if that was all your focus, once that is stripped from you, you lose everything. But the one you have in your head, that knowledge, is the most important. And once you have that, no one can take that from you. And the thing that Mr. Okundele was able to acquire in his head, to put in his mind, that is what has made him the success that he is today. And on that again, still on that same idea of purpose and knowledge, there's a saying here that I like to say, that if you look for money, you will never find your purpose. But if you look for purpose, you will find wealth. You will find them. Because if you look for purpose and you're very passionate about that purpose, one day somehow someone will pay you, you know, to pay for that which you carry in your mind. So so anyway, now I want to talk a bit about what Mr. Ogundele has contributed from my reading in his book. What contributed to the success, his success? I'm saying, the first one is making the place that he came to his home, not the transit point. And that one also Mr. Ogundele touched on in his book. And a lot of us come here, maybe we are lucky. They might even have been like Mr. Ogundele. We arrived in Austria. It wasn't our first point, our first choice. But somehow you arrived here. So make the best of that place rather than having it in mind that I'm checking out every moment, I'm checking out. Look within you, look around and see what place that place has got to offer you. Even if that's not the ultimate place, look around because there's always something good to take from any place. But it all depends on the mindset. And so Mr. Ogundele, when he arrived in Austria, although it was not his first place of choice, he decided to look around to get the benefit that the place had to offer. He did not just see the place as just somewhere that he could, stay for a while and then check out. And then he did not have the wrongful notion of Europe. This is the one that is really, for me, I think it's one of our biggest barriers. And Mr. Ogundele also touched on that in his book. And some of these wrongful notions, they are perpetuated by maybe the Nollywood movies that we see. Everybody, you see someone leaving Nigeria to come to Europe, he has nothing but the shoes that he stands in, and then he arrives in Europe, and maybe 3 weeks later, he goes, or 3 months later, he goes to Nigeria to visit. And then all of a sudden he arrives and he's got all these expensive things on him. He has expensive cars. And of course, everybody wants something good. Everybody wants everybody wants to do well. So people are thinking, oh my gosh, this guy had nothing when he left. And now having this work, I too want to have what he has. And so you have that wrongful notion of people coming here. Of course, once you have that kind of idea, back to what I was talking about, purpose and knowledge again. If you have that wrongful notion that is made for you to just come and make wealth, you are not going to study. You are not going to study because studying takes time. It takes energy. It's not something that just happens in a blink of an eye. It takes time. And so Mr. Ogundele had that notion. He didn't have the notion that he was just going to come and just become rich overnight. He came here with the intention to study. And you see that also in his book, also very commendable. So the next thing, we are talking about what, contributed to his success here in Europe. And the next thing is he came with focus. He knew what he was coming within few weeks, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, of arriving here, he enrolled in school to study. But how many of our people do that? We want that quick wealth. Okay, who is going to direct us? If you're looking for one, I think, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, if you are constant, if you're right here, and the focus is just to make that wealth, that very fast, quick wealth, you're going to land yourself in a group that's not going to be very encouraging, just to put it mildly. You're not going to. And so Mr. Ogundele, because he came with the right idea, he was ready to take that little snail's pace. He studied, he engaged, he started by studying the language, and then he joined the society, the people, back against what I was saying, the people that we surround ourselves with matter. They matter because when he came here, he met someone, a medical student, from Sierra Leone first, and then that one directed him to the group of students. All of them had the same mindset, the same, to acquire knowledge, because they knew that knowledge was going to take them further than any quick money that they got, that they could get. And so another thing that he did, he surrounded them with this. Finally, Mr. Ogundele did not forget his God. I think most of all think that it's kind of cool, and we come from a society where our parents were very religious. Then we arrive in another society where God is second place, or if they at all mentioned, rarely ever mentioned. And even when it's mentioned, it's as a thing to really kind of joke about. And we arrive in this place and we want to know that when you don't remove the entire equation out of your life. Really, so Mr. Ogundele did not do that. He remembered his God, he put his God constantly. And one of the ways he did that was he walked in the church. He served God. He started with Vienna Christian Center, and then to the Baptist where he really served God. And so, and like they say, when you say the rest really is history. And so, with that said, sorry if I'm just going on and on, but I had to kind of like thought on those things because those really mattered to me. And I'm going to just read the first an excerpt from his book. He said, and this is what we talk about, the group people that you surround yourself with being very important. And so he said, my first contact, this is page 27. My first contact with Nigerians in Austria was with members and officers of the Nigerian Student Union, which was the only existing Nigerian organization at the time. They rally around to integrate me into the system with great success, and this explains why I've been very active in Nigerian community organizations. This was also how I developed my love for helping people around me to integrate properly into the system. So again, surrounding yourself with good people. And then we talk about the, sorry, then the next thing, I'm going to again read now from page 37. He said, in my 40 years in Austria, I've assisted more than 50 fellow Nigerians to relocate to Austria for studies or to start new life. This long list includes close and extended family members, friends, old schoolmates. Some are still in the country today, but many have relocated and spread worldwide. Unlike me, who saw Austria as a promised land, many took Austria as a transit land. I would attribute my success, if any, to the fact that I saw Austria as a terminus rather than a transit station. That's again what I was place. You really need to look around, even if it's not going to be your eventual place of abode, but at least look around and take opportunity of what that has to offer, because think about it, nothing in life, the knowledge, anything that you put in here is never wasted. Wherever you go, it will follow you. Like if you make money, think about it. Like right now in Nigeria, I always tell a lot of Europeans, don't think that we are poor nations. We are not a poor nation at all. This is mismanagement. My apologies to the ambassador, but that's the truth. We are a very wealthy nation. So don't think. So if you come here, there are a lot of us back home who will be very, yes. But if you come here, there are a lot of people who would almost kill to be in a position to come to a place like this. Put that knowledge in your head. Take that. It will take you to so many, it will take you to where money cannot take you. There's a place in the Bible that says that your skill will put you before kings. It doesn't say your money will put you before kings, because the thing about wealth is that it's subjective. One man's wealth is one man's poverty. If I say 2 million, I am wealthy. Someone who has 1 million is laughing at me. If you say that you have so much money, you are coming here, you are scrambling around money, go back to Nigeria. There are people who started with me, they are so amazingly wealthy. So if you have the opportunity to come here and you gain knowledge, which is very important, and you focus on you arrive in Nigeria, guess what? You're just going to be a glorified bushman. That's what you're going to be. But if you go there with knowledge, it will start you before things. Even if you started out sweeping the roads in Nigeria, when you have that in here, when you get there, you'll be dining with governors, you'll be dining with ministers, because you have something in here that they're looking for and that no one can take from you. So what is the conclusion here? The conclusion is, please to my people. Also, one final thing, mentor. Having mentors is very important. We can hear that Mr. Ogundele had mentors within the Nigerian student bodies and across the Nigerian community here. But like what I was saying, but he had them because he was willing to be humble, to learn. A lot of people here, we know, a lot of our people come, we don't know Jack, is sorry to say, but we are so proud. I don't even know, I call that stupid pride. We don't know Jack, but maybe because of our insecurities, we don't want to align ourselves with people who know. My father used to say one thing. He said, when you associate with people, make sure you associate with people who know more than you do. If you know to, make sure you associate with someone who knows 4. Because at the end, you add the 2 you know, plus the 4 they know, and you come out with 6. But if you associate with someone who knows nothing, even if you knew 2, by the time you're done, you're -2. Because it's plus what he doesn't know, plus the one you've lost, you are not minus. You know, so that's the point. So, Mr. Ogundele, thank you very much for again for allowing me to come to speak on your book, and thank you for all that you've done for the Nigerian community. Like it's always willing to be there. Mentorship is very important, but again, you can force a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. So my advice to a lot of people is that when you have people who have been there before us, they say follow in the footsteps of the giants, then actually allow yourself to go there. What can I learn from you? Because it is by doing that you receive. And when you receive, it's to the betterment of not just yourself, but all to the community. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogundele, once again, and congratulations on your book.
So that was very, very good. There are some few points I picked up there, most especially the part that concerns the Nigerian students. I think that was my first contact with Engineer Ogundele. He showed me a path, like, yes, this exists here in Vienna, in Austria, and this is the circle, and this is who and who you can connect with. And when I came in, that is when I was part of the very few people who we started the Nigerian Student Union again in Austria. And all the thanks and kudos goes to Engineer Ogundele. Please, a round of applause for him for that. These things are not just because we want to say them because he wrote a book and because he's here. It's because it's his lifestyle. And that is very, very important. I want us to all note that. That is who he is. And that is what he does. He's not faking it. He has, since I knew him or since I met him, he has never changed. His way of welcoming everyone is always with open hands. And please, once again, a round of applause for him. Also, I realize and I recognize that he likes creating the path for the younger generation. I remember the first time he called me and said, even in the NANCA, Nigerian Association, NANCA, he said they need to be a youth wing. And he was telling me, why don't you and some few start and try to make this wing. And also because of that, we have a young man today who's going to present some cultural from, Engineer Ogundele is Yoruba. And Nigeria is not complete without the Yoruba talking drum. And we know that he's one of the ambassadors of the Nigerian percussions. How many of us know Engineer Ogundele for that? He's one of the ambassadors of Nigerian percussions. And today we have a young man here who's going to give us a little bit of the display of the Nigeria talking drum, the Yoruba one. Please, a round of applause for him. The young man's name. This is Smart Junior. Please, a round of applause for him. David. Please, a round of applause for him again.
We are not hearing. Remove the screen. Remove the book screen. I don't see his face. Thank you. Thank you.
A round of applause for him. So, it might interest you to know that this young man taught himself. Please, a round of applause for him. Very impressive. The last time I saw him, I never knew you can fit on the job. Okay. Next we'll invite, so I also need the lecture. Also, you want to sit down. Would you like to sit down? I think you feel more comfortable there. Okay, okay. Professor Olomo is a professor from the University of Vienna and the chair of Africa. Thank you very much, MC. Thanks for asking me a few words about this book. Like what previous speakers have said, and also acknowledge the presence of other dignitaries, both here in the room and online, because I heard that there are some people online. So I acknowledge your presence. And of course, distinguished listeners, thank you very much for listening to us. I'm very happy today because, Engineer Ogundele and Sarah, they are both active members of what we call the Vienna African Writers Club. DAW at the University of Vienna. We have started an African Writers Club at the University of Vienna, and Sarah has been there, and Engineer Ogundele is a member. So I'm not surprised that. Now, what is a book review? I'm asked to give a book review. And a book review is a kind of literary genre, a kind of literary criticism. When we say criticism, don't mean just criticize, but literary criticism that systematically evaluates the work, saying some of the things that readers might expect to see, and also saying what might have been done about the book. So my job this evening is to give a literary book review of Engineer Ogundele's wonderful work. So it is often said that there is a book in every person. So every person, there's a book in all of us, in every person. Now what this means is that every person's life is a unique story that is worth telling. Some people only just talk about this orally to their family and friends. One way or the other, we all talk about life issues to people around us. But most people are capable of recording this unique life story in the form of a book. Today, we have before us a unique life story told to us by Mr. OLUYEMI OGUNDELE in the form of a book titled My Diaspora Footsteps, Autobiography of Engineer
We all have books published. And we are all indeed gathered here to launch this book. Now, in 105 pages, Mr. Ogundele takes us through a compelling account of his early life in Lagos, Nigeria, where we see that he grew up close to one of Africa's legendary figures in the name of Fela and Nicola Kuti, and that he attended a great school that produced prominent Nigerian leaders such as Obafemi Awolowo and Olusegun Obasanjo. The book, with an excellently illustrated cover, if you have the book, you can see the cover. It's excellently illustrated. And if I have mine, excellently illustrated. So this book then takes us through several stages of Ogundele's life. The reader follows him on his journey to Europe and particularly to Austria, which he names the Promised Land in the world. We see glimpses of this life, of his life as a student leader, and that's where he learned the ropes to develop into a prominent African. Through several stages of Ogundele's life. He also shows us glimpses of life in his faith community and the prominent roles he plays in projecting Yoruba and Nigerian culture in Vienna. I myself got to know him when he invited me to an Adire festival that he organized only a few years after I arrived in Austria to take up a position at the University of Vienna. The book ends appropriately with an excellent documentation of the many awards he received, as many as 8 awards. Now, let me talk a few things about the book, the strengths. There are many strengths in the book that make it appealing to readers, but I'll just highlight 2 or 2 here. The first prominent feature of the book is the astute pictorial documentation. We see that most sections of the book are actually illustrated with photos of artifacts in his life. Now, how many of us here in his age range can produce a photocopy of our first passport? How many of us? Very few of us. Very few of us. But OLUYEMI produces a copy of his first passport on page 15 of the work. OLUYEMI even produces a copy of the ticket with which he traveled out of his country the first time in 1981. And that's 40 years ago. You see, in literature, it is this kind of systematic observation and attention to detail that makes the book important. Yeah. And I just returned from Nigeria and Ghana on a conference trip a little less than a month ago. But I don't even know where my ticket is. You can compare that. Now, a second strength of the book is the candid and matter-of-fact way in which he recounts his life stories. As Sarah mentioned, and many other speakers mentioned, and he is very honest, he's very genuine, and so when you're, as an author, when you're honest and genuine, you know, your story comes to life. So a second strength of the book is a candid and matter-of-fact way in which he recounts his life stories. This straight to the point style of storytelling is one that would make a compelling read. How many of us who have ever faced deportation would not sympathize and even empathize with the following passage on page 20. It begins. We got to Zurich International Airport later in the afternoon, and my Nigerian passport was handed over to me. That was refused entry into the UK. So he was on his way to being deported back to Nigeria. My Nigerian passport was handed over to me, and the pilot wished me a safe trip back to Nigeria. At that moment, I decided that I would not return to Nigeria no matter the situation. I could not stand the humiliation of returning to Nigeria a day after leaving for Europe, and even after the send-off party by my friends and my friends here. I mean, how can we empathize? Yeah. So, of course, so this has strength of the book. Attention to detail and the candid way of presenting these things. But of course, in literary criticism, the book in review, no book is perfect, especially in terms of being error-free in matters of editing. I'm sure that the second edition can clean off any infelicities in the first edition. I also wish that OLUYEMI had dedicated more space, more details of the professional life, his professional life and the I'm saying this because I mean he does actually provide with a window to this aspect of his life in section 14. But this is only in 4 paragraphs from page 97 to 98. Now, I'm saying this because I'm certain that more of the young people here and those online and those reading the book later on would want to follow in the footprints of one of Vienna's most prominent African community leaders. So in a future edition, it is suggested that the author elaborates on these aspects. This book might even be the impetus for a budding filmmaker to try his or her hand at making a film about the life of OLUYEMI. All in all, in conclusion, this is a significant book, and I recommend it to all people, all nationalities, but especially Africans in the diaspora, many of who can testify to similar life events of their own. In recent times, as a researcher on African diaspora communities worldwide, especially in China and here in Austria, I have focused on the concept of resilience. Resilience is an important concept that explains the amazing drive of diaspora Africans and indeed migrants everywhere in the world to succeed even in the midst of adversity. This book illustrates the concept of resilience very well, and it is my hope that other diaspora Africans can be motivated by this unique life story of Mr. OLUYEMI Ogundele to tell their own unique life stories. Again, there is a book in every person. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. Maybe some people didn't pay attention to that, but I think we can still try. We can all go back and look for our first passport if it's possible. It got me thinking, and I just remember, oh, I still have mine. And unfortunately, yeah, I picked up something. When I came in, my brother told me that this ticket you came in with, there's a sticker that you put in your baggage. My brother said, one day you will remember this sticker, keep it. And I remember the first time my brother gave me, I just stick it behind. And now I know it's a very good practice. Thank you, sir, for supporting that. And we'll all pick from these few points that have been noted from the review that has been. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, Professor. Now we'll present the book. It's time for us to see what we've all been talking about, sitting here, listening to all the wonderful speeches. Now it's time to unveil the book. I will invite Engineer Ogundele to come forward. He's the only one who can do it. So please let's observe carefully, attentively.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Professor Shara. Babike Labiri, I hope she's still online, the chairman, Bashir Bashikola, God bless you. Nice, the chairman of Naidu Austria. This is Engr, the chair. Please a round of applause for her. That's my chairperson. So, if you give permission, we'll be able to do today events. Chairman, thank you very much. I want to appreciate everybody here, especially also my friend TK and George Alabra. We all started to join together, and their name were mentioned there, we all staying together. So, but before going to that, because I have to still make a remark later, I just want to reveal the book because we don't have much time, we're just running out of time. And of course, the book has been online for quite some time now on Amazon. So most people have seen it, so it's nothing new. So I just want to call His Excellency and maybe George to join me here as we unveil the book for everybody to see officially here. Your Excellency, please, sir. George. A round of applause for them as they just unveil it, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Excellency. As you must have noticed, I don't have many copies here because, like I said, the book is on Amazon. And the issue when it's up to Amazon is like, it's a self-published book, it's not by any publisher. Of course, Prof knows this as a first-timer, like my sister Sarah, who has published many books. She will talk to any publisher, they will take it from her. But for the first time, no publisher will take anything from you. You have to publish. So I believe maybe next time I'll be able to get the publisher will publish it. So it's a self-published book. And this is the book for you. So let me show it clearly for people who have seen it. This is my diaspora footprint. And since I don't want to jump the protocol, it's not yet time to talk about the book. I'm still going to talk and maybe read 1 or 2 pages from the book. So what we've just done is just presentation. And then we're going to launch the book. After the launching, then I will make my speech. Of course, the first to launch the book is the Nigerian Embassy. Your Excellency, thank you very much. Excellency, bought 10 copies of this book for the mission. And he did not only pay for the 10 copies, he launched the book with a substantial amount of money. Of course, I'm not supposed to mention the amount, but I will tell you it's a very substantial amount of money. Once again, Your Excellency, thank you very, very much. So I don't know how long she looks like. You can help me with this. So of course, Prof and Sarah, they already have insight to the book. We read from the book, so they have the copies already. I have a lot of people here who want to, but we don't have enough copies here. Like I said, you can always get it on Amazon. It's also there as an e-book. I have some of my friends here that I really want them to launch the book because they were part of my story and they occupy a lot of places there. Clementi, you must launch the book. George, you must launch the book because your names were mentioned many times there. And thank you for producing us, David. Because I really mentioned about David there. He really changed a lot of narrative of how Africans are being seen here. So George, thank you very much for that. So you must launch this book every day. Of course, I have all my friends here. So let me give it to you. You launch it. We have an envelope there. Everybody want to show the big amount of money, maybe 10,000 euros. So that's how we go after you. So let me have the envelope there. The envelope for that table too. Open it up. Of course I will. Don't try me. My wife is here now. She has a big bag here. My wife is here. She will carry me. I'll tell you, I'm not coming. So anybody who wants to have, everyone who wants to launch it, can you open the envelope? So I put it there, take it one by one. Take Femi, take George, and then you take my chair lady, and then take one by one. Anybody wants to launch, and if you cannot launch here, launch it online. It's on Amazon. Thank you very much. Round of applause for him. So let's start with okay. You took an envelope already, so we'll go to Mr. George. Like he said, you are next, and okay, Mr. It does not have the book yet. So
okay. Yeah, because this is my first time of coming to book launching. Yeah, so I don't know how the whole thing goes.
Let him start first and then you go.
Okay.
Book launch is not really about talking. Mouth doesn't talk, the pocket talks. So you don't have to talk, just put the envelope down and we'll carry it. You don't really have to talk.
No. I know Femi, he likes argument. Let him start.
So please, if you need envelope, the envelope will go around and then just signal me, I'll come to you and then, yes, so Uncle Femi wants to start. Yes, so we'll do that, We'll put a table there and he will sign and everybody can take pictures with him while he's signing. Okay, who's the launch collector? And somebody should come and sit here, please. This is diaspora collection. So, Uncle Femi, thank you, sir, for this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful launch. On behalf of engineer, we say thank you. So, Mr. George, you have an envelope ready. Okay. Mr. George just launched. My hand. Somebody help me, please. So Uncle Femi and Uncle Mr. George. So how should I go now?
So anybody that
wants,
somebody is helping you. We've already mentioned him. I don't want to embarrass anybody or put them on the spot.
Okay.
They are giving you the envelope.
Please just wave your hand and I'll come to you. Just wave your hand. Wave your hand. Charity. Yes, over to you. Oh, sorry, Chairman. Sorry.
Everybody is chairman something here. It is actually a great honor to be here today. permit me to stand on existing protocols. Thank you very much. Like I said, Prof, thank you for the review. Sarah, thank you for the book review as well. I think I've read some part of the book as well, and I have a few things. I'll still send you some things later, but I have a few things for us as a community. As a community, this is the start of a very good thing for us. As a community that has been here in Austria, Nigerian community that's been here in Austria for so long, we are actually very shy on documentation. Your Excellency, thank you for saying that the book now is at the embassy. So, you know, generations to come, it will still be there. I remember that in the museum, we did a lace collection book that we left in the museum as well. But please, I charge you as a community, especially the Nigerian community here in Austria, I charge you to start emulating this particular process of documentation. We've been here for a long time. Ogundele has been here 40 years plus, but we have people in our community that have been here much longer. So let's start documenting things for posterity, for generations to come. For instance, the Ajure Carnival that we've been doing, we need someone to come up, Prof. Perhaps you should create something in the university for this. We need someone to come up and document and get a degree for that. We need to create a path for ourselves. We need the community. Yeah, at postgraduate level. Yeah, because we've done this for over so many years. We did it here in Vienna, Salzburg. We've done it in Graz. So these are things that by writing, by documenting, we can create a body of work that actually can be studied, can even progress further. So, Engineer Ogundele, I know you're listening to this, and we'll talk about it even afterwards. This, for me, is the start of many things to come. I hope, Prof, when that time comes, that will create that, it could be a master's program like the ambassador has said, and PhD even, and Prof, we volunteer. The embassy is here volunteering now. This is the voice of the ambassador. And as Engr, okay, this is our cultural festivals we'll be doing, documenting over so many. Ambassador, you've already said this. This is your copy. This is your copy, Excellency. We've been documenting things for a long time. And if we don't start writing, if we don't start showcasing, it's not only for the benefit of the host community, by the way, it's for our own children. Our own children, wherever they go, they will know that they have a home here in Austria. And they will know that they have a home here in Vienna. So please, Engineer Ogundele, you've done us a great favor. You've done us a sort of introduction to the world. So all of us, I charge you, because we all have stories. We all have stories to tell. Let's start documenting it. And Engineer Ogundele, I know people say it's very difficult to write a book. You can attest that it's not that difficult. You can attest, because you told me how many nights you didn't sleep. So I know, at least so he told me how many nights it took him. So if you want to write a book, go and ask him. At least you have an example now. Please, so I charge you to start documenting, and Prof is here. We're going to create a line of study, a body of work for our children, for the children of Austrians born in this community. And Prof, I'm charging you not to forget. And Ambassador is here. Ambassador, you are here too. Who will help? Who will help? Yeah, exactly. Who will help you, Prof? And as I'm the president. Look, whatever you want, come to me. I'm in front of everybody. Come. I'm telling you, whatever it takes, whatever you will need, come to us and we will do it. Thank you very much. I love you. Thanks so much, sir.
It's very important. This is why we're here.
Okay, sorry. And I have to say this as well. Pastor Taiwo asked me earlier, he can't be here, but on his behalf, he wants to go with significant sum of money. Thank you.
From Chairman. Okay, Stormy. Please, who's next? Okay. Charlie, please come forward. My microphone is not so loud. Yeah. This is the first female chair. Please, a round of applause for her. Yes.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of NIDA Austria, we're going to be launching this book by taking 3 copies. And first of all, I also want to congratulate Honorable Kemi Ogundele on the success. And I hope that we actually make efforts to take this book with us, to buy this book. And I'm sure going through this book, we are all going to take one or two lessons with us. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your experience with us. Congratulations to you.
My honorable chair. Yes. So just after the speech, then we'll leave the floor for Engineer Ogundele to say a few words.
Thank you. Excellency, President, ladies and gentlemen, stand on existing protocol. It was on a Monday, on a Sunday morning, 1981, at Africa. Yes. One of our friends from Mr. Patrick Apindi, was coming into the hostel with somebody carrying his bag by the side. He introduced me, in case Yemi has forgotten. Oh, this is your countryman. Where did you meet? They just landed from the airport. And he met him around the Afro area. They brought him to South Africa. That was the first incident of my seeing you. If I'm not mistaken, I will be the first Nigerian president he met when he landed here. You know, when the plane leaves you at the airport, you have only one attention to hit the Afro city. And if you go there, surely you get 1 or 2 Nigerians. It was very, very sure. Yeah, time went on. I didn't know he has all this potential. Mr. Ogundele worked very assiduously as a student, Nigerian Students Union executive. He started portraying the way he addresses people, he gets into people. In our diversified Nigeria, there's no place, there's no community Ogundele does not find very, very comfortable. At the time, he was the president of people who wanted to do a community here. And after I became the Secretary General of the National Association of Nigerian Community in Austria, there were all those compelling components, the compelling sub-unit associations that made the General Association to stand. By the time I became the president, he was very much more active than I expected. As a matter of fact, I had to do all things possible to make sure that he succeeded me as the president of the National Association. Thank you very much. I've been very working very hard. And during his position as the National Association president, there was this puzzle of Apex Association, the National Association of Nigerian Community in Austria. Is it going to be an Apex or the middle? And he stood very steadfast to make sure National Association of Nigerian Communities in Austria is all Nigerians here, and the NIDO is for professionals who are ready to transfer powers, make our country, Nigeria, develop. He has not done that. He is very, 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 very rich. Some people feel that he's tired, but he is not tired. At every age, at every space you have in Austria concerning Nigeria, he shows sympathy. He is a decentralized person. Mr. Ogundele, my Igbo language is that means, you know, that very particular pillar that has given you the strength to prepare up to this extent. Continue on that. You bring us more of George, you bring us more of David, and because you know you have all these components, please don't forget our second generation. They also need your attention. Thank you very much.
So much has been said. Mr. Alexis is looking at me smiling. I'll invite Dr. Engineer Ogundele to please come forward to say more about his book, and please a round of applause for him. Thank you very much. Once again, please permit me to start with the protocol as we are running out of time. Today is not a day of long speeches, so I'll spare you one. But I have to say something. I'll probably read one or two from the books, my favorite. I want to start by saying I thank every one of you here. Every one of you are part of this book, one way or the other. I'm sure if you go through to find something that relates to you, or even find your name on this book. How do we come about this book? Actually, it was not planned. There was a program NIDO Europe organized, and it's about stories of Nigeria. They realized that the last 40 years was when Nigeria started moving out of the country. And we have this thing called Andrew checking out of Nigeria. That's common here. So, and they approached me that I should also be part of the program and tell people my story, my diaspora story. So that time I said, look, for how long, how many minutes? It's still online, about 10 minutes. I said, my own story is more than 10 minutes. I don't think I'll be able to use 10 minutes to say the story. So let me probably put it together as a book. I took the challenge. I didn't know it's not easy to write books. That's why I'm happy we have two authors here. So I said I would write a book. So I started putting it together. But I want to thank, most especially my wife, for the motivation. She has one funny way of doing things. If I say I want to do something, then I know you do it. He has too much confidence in me that I will do it. How do you think I will do it? Even if you say, if I say I want to play for president of Nigeria tomorrow, she said, then you can do it. So she gave that first motivation there that please, you can do it. I said, okay, but I was like, okay, but I'm not so sure. Then I want to say thank you to Fagodu here. Fagodu now told me that he has been writing the story, the book and stuff like that. I said, engineer, do you realize you've been writing stories for the years? I said, no. He said, for the past 40 years you've been in Austria. And you've been writing different things. When we have annotation, you write a write-up there, one paper or the other. He said, all these stories you've been writing for the past. If you put it together, it's more than a book. So that was the first view that, oh, I can make it happen within a short time. But we have time limit. It's supposed to be on the 7th of October, this presentation. So I have to make the book before the 7th of October. So I had to go and start checking all my old stories that I've written before. Of course, documentations that I've kept, my passport. The way I got to Austria was not very easy. Eventually, it was in the book too. So I kept everything because for me it was like souvenir. Because I was on my way back to Nigeria, I had before, and of course, they take the letter to me at the airport, and I was deported back to Nigeria, and I still kept that letter till date. So I have to put it also there. I was deported back, and I said, no, I don't. But that is not about me actually. It's about people behind me, because I mentioned 2 or 3 things in the book which I was still reading. One of it was the area where I was born. It's supposed to be a diaspora story to talk about my story here, but I have to tell people how I came from, my background. So people saw me as, I'm not so rascal like before, but I mentioned the book why I was like a rascal. I grew up in an area that is like a republic. We call it Kalakuta Republic. It's like we're doing a republic within Nigeria, and the fella is our president. So I was, Fela African Shrine is number 2, Polari Street. I was born on number 6, Polari Street, two houses away. And that area around the Fela Shrine, his house is close by. All this area is no way happening for police or anybody. So we do whatever we want to do. We don't care. So that was where I was born, and I grew up in that area. So I was also like, Fela, don't tell us any nonsense there. So I don't know how I end up like this. I thought I would be maybe either my boy, the Rasta here. I don't know. Don't let me mention those ones. That's life I live at that area. Of course. And I went to school. My father was clever enough. I said, no, you are not going to school in Lagos. I took me to Abeokuta. That place was very different, but I still keep my Lagos style. I went to school. The first year, I was able to maneuver it. The second year, no way. After about maybe 10 exams, I sat for 5. Always somewhere there, Togo, where they're doing festival. That culture a lot. They have Igbo culture, festival in Togo, and here, I'm at Olumoro and everywhere. So I missed the exam, and they said I have to repeat the class. And that was a breakthrough. That was what changed my life through assisted degree. To repeat the class. And in those days, when you were in school, your juniors, you tell them, go and get me water, go and get me this. So now, I'm not sitting in the same class with my juniors. Those who are calling me senior or brother, they're not calling me by name. Someone like very rascal, you come and put your head and say, oh, senior. So I was like, I was still ashamed. And I said, no, there's nothing I can get this stubbornness. And now maybe 360 big ton. I said, no, that was the first thing that happened to me. Change. But then it's also to motivate the young ones, because when you repeat the class or you fail, people get the stuff that they don't want to go to school anymore. You just think that's the end of it. But I didn't give up. I now took that as an advantage. It was now my strength. I turned my weakness to my strength. That was why I was able to now go through school without any problem. Of course, I said it's always been my dream to travel abroad. So I wanted to travel. I've always wanted to travel. So the chance didn't come. So, but I want to say something very clearly. For the ambassador also to go to this. When I left Nigeria, Nigeria was not bad. When I left Nigeria, everything was okay. Nobody was traveling out at that time because they want to get a job or economic problem. We want to get knowledge. I want to travel out to get knowledge, to become somebody and go back home and develop Nigeria. That was my aim traveling out. And I'm happy that Dr. Asheba also mentioned that. And I also want to say very important for Autobiography, because if you want to read the book, the first page matters a lot. And the foreword, the wonderful foreword written by Autobiography really helps about this book, and of course the testimonial written by Dr. Asheba. So at that time, my first job was just like going to Abasant here. You may tell some in Nigeria that you can get a job Abasant in Nigeria, those days will say no. I was sleeping, and that was 1980 years. And my father just looked at me and said, what are you doing? I said, he said, no, you have to go and look for a job. I said, why would I get a job? He said, go to the labor office at Ikoyi and go and register. I went there on a Monday, I registered. The session coming on Tuesday, and Wednesdays and Fridays. The next Wednesday I went, they gave me a paper to go to Old Niger House, UAC, something. And I got the job the same day. So in Nigeria at that time, you can get a job without knowing anybody. There's a labor office just like Abasant here. That was where I got my first job. Got it without knowing anybody. That was it. So of course I wanted to travel. And somebody who got a job without struggling. After a year, I resigned. I wanted to get visa. I was not successful. I have to go back to job. I told my dad, I was okay, try. Within 2 months, I got another job at Autobiography of Nigeria. That time it's a very good job working at Autobiography of Nigeria. It's a German company. Everything was working fine. That was my first contact with German world. And I have my boss who are from Austria and Germany. You are still very young and you are very clever. What are you doing? I said, I want to study. He said, why don't you try? So that time, Britain was the only thing on my mind. Try to go to Germany. You want to be an engineer, go to Germany or Austria. That was my first offer. I never knew anything about it. Of course, I took the challenge. And after about a year, I left the job. But that time, it was easy. I kept my job. I said I was just traveling. I was going holiday, and they said, "Go back and get your job." That was how it was at that time. Not like that. I was looking for a job. Nigeria was one school, and I put in this book clearly, and it can still be good again. It depends on every one of us. Okay? So that is one of the things. Because I realized in the book, what I said in the book was also anywhere you are, be part of it. I am here in Austria, and then I came to Austria. I tried to be part of Austria, and now this testimony of it is where we are today. If you look at the book, also page 33. You will see when I was 10 years in SPO, I have this picture here, this place, SPO 10 years. can see something like Christian when we're marching on May 1st. So I try to be, you don't have to be an Austrian to be a member of a political party. You can do anything, just be part of where you are. Don't think you are in Nigeria, you are only going to be blessed in Nigeria. Anywhere you are is your country and you'll be blessed there. If you pray for Nigeria, Nigeria will bless you. I mean, the state of Nigeria, not for individual now. You be an Austrian and you behave well and you pray for Austria, you'll be blessed in Austria. So that was why I said I saw this as promised land. Now my friends left. After almost 5 years, everybody take around. Some of us smart, we're here, myself, George is here, Femi is here. Well, we're here and thank God for what we're doing today. So, but when you see a country as a transit country, you will never make it there. But you see it as your terminus. No matter situation, I will make it here. That was what I did about Austria. I said Austria is my terminus and I remain here. I'm happy I'm here today. So that is another thing I want to mention. But finally, I want to also say that we have a lot of challenges in Austria. It's not rosy. And I mentioned this clearly in this book because I have a disappointment too. People see me as Mr. Nigeria. That is true. And I said in the book that if you cut my hand, the blood that will flow out will not be red. It will be green, white, green. And I'm sincere about it. And when we are talking about red carpet, we are looking for red carpet. I say I don't want red carpet. I prefer green, white, green carpet. That's why you see, where it's supposed to be a red carpet place to take picture. I say, no, let's put green, white, green. I look for it and it's green, white, green. I'm a Nigerian to the core. I'm also an Austrian. I believe that you have to just balance the whole thing. You don't want to say this. And if you want to remain the way you want the country to be good, you continue to be good to your country, play for your country. Nothing is good. We, diaspora, should not be part of the problem. We should be part of the solution. We've seen a lot, but unfortunately, most of us will compare Nigeria with our host country. Every country has its own peculiarity. The Yoruba proverb says, the bigger the head, the severe the headache you have. Nigeria is a big country. So when I shed tears when people compare Nigeria with Rwanda or anything, I read recently somebody say Nigeria has no Nigerian airlines, but Rwanda has Rwanda airline. I was bleeding in my mind because I said, why? Rwanda has maybe two planes as Rwanda airline, but one single Nigerian airpiece has about 20 planes. So why do you want the whole country to be the airline when one person has more than the country has? So why are you comparing those countries? So it's bleed my mind. And of course, Professor Shibajo, in recent speech, was talking about Ekiti. And he said Ekiti, GDP is more than other countries' GDP. That is how. Nigeria is a blessed country. I've said it. Resources is there. You don't have to do it very well. So I'm in Nigeria and I'm not apologetic about it. I'm in Nigeria. I'm also an Austrian. And on that side, it's green, white, green, and red, everywhere. Anywhere you are, it's your home. That is it. So let me just take time to read one or two things from this book so that you'll be able to, because I think that I was told at our school, the professor, that there's no way you can make a presentation without reading from that book. So we have to read also. So let me just read one or two favorite parts of it. Let me take you from the first one, say my early life. I said, I was born. No, I had a quote from William Shakespeare at the beginning. They some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I came from a humble background. I was born in the early 60s. Parents, and my mom, they lived in a small community called Empire. Is really suburb of Lagos. My mom was a pretty trader and sold foodstuff, and my dad was a civil servant. True to his name, Empire was like an empire within Nigeria, with its norms and rules. Empire was a community that housed the popular African shrine of late Federico Kuti, and his soul was referred to as Calcutta Republic. Children born around this area are noted to be very minded, strong, as they saw Fela as their role model and mostly took after him. Most of them took pride in exhibiting styles and ways of life talking about Fela. My case was not different. I had my share of stubbornness. So let me take another part of the book, be of interest. It said, yes. Europe, yeah. This time, the United Kingdom was a nation. This was the time you can still apply for an entry visa at the port of entry. So, to make good of my case in UK, border, I decided to procure some country's visa for my Nigerian passport. That was Austria and Switzerland visa. With the help of one of my area uncles who was then working with Italia, I was able to secure an entry visa to Austria and Switzerland. This was very easy since these two countries were a regular destination for the Nigerian lace merchants. I was able to get the Australian visa. I never knew it was just to be an alibi in my passport. I never knew that is where I'm going to end up. Of course, I said here, let me just put down, I'm going to paraphrase. At that time, a lot of us came to Austria. Austria was just like they were not ready for us. That was what I put in the book. Austria was not ready for we blacks. So what the first batch of who came, we came, like the second batch, were seen as pursuit canister, they're like rabbits, experimental. Nobody knows where they prepare for us. And I mentioned in the book that the first contact Nigeria and Austria has that was recorded was 1960. Immediately after Nigeria got independence, the Nigerian army was established and were posted to Congo to go and fight, to go and, with the UN army. When they got to Congo, the first mission, they landed from the airport, they said the Austrian army, the medical personnel from Austria, some of them were kidnapped and were ambushed and were kidnapped. And the Nigerian army should go and free these Austrians. And the Nigerian army was like, they just depended French, they don't have any work experience. And they were like, how are we going to do it? They said, you are Africans, you know the terrain well, and be able to do that. And of course, Nigerian army took to action, and they freed all the Austrian army without any casualty. Of course, about 3 Nigerian army lost their life for that, the great price. So that shows you that Austria and Nigeria will have all this funding. So at times when we do things here, it's also a payback to something for Austria to the past. Of course, I mentioned in the book, the first thing that we have also in common is this lace material. They do the lace and we wear the lace. That is why we have the edit connection, the connection. So that is still the area there. Of course, I saw also mentioned that in Australia here, a lot of things were not correct. That's why I said I was critical of Nigeria in the area, and for this trial, having mentioned that one quite close. I was critical about Australia because I said it's like during the medical area, for example, like the Austrians, they don't really study the anatomy of maybe African women and African men very well. Of course, I lost my first try for that. Of course, my son was born with especially in the hand because it was in the book, because probably when we are taking the midwife are taking the children out, they saw the Austrian, the white, and they have the same anatomy, and maybe they are not taking care. So they have to do more into that research. But what pains me most is that when you go for medical tests, the blood test, for example, there will be some scala that will prove to you that you have to be within so to so. But for Africans, we have different things. In UK or in France, they will put it different and say it's just not only male or female, you also want precocious or black. So that, but here in Austria, when you have a blood test, they will give you and say you are supposed to have, let me get an example. I think my head, they will say creatine, you have to have between 50 to 100. And if you have 110, they will say it's allowed. When I see your doctor. But it's possible that an African can have more than 120 because of our color and everything. They do not, you have to put that scala also to accommodate also that. So when you go to a doctor, and it's a good doctor, now tell you, oh, look at your skin, you can have more than this, the one is different, and this scale is for strength. So then they relax. But for that time, some of us have heart attack, ready that this alarm, all this one are red. It's different. So this is why I said at that time, Australia was very prepared for us. We have to do more. Do more if we come out. That's why I'm going to end up with. But when we sit back, nobody knows about it. So when we come out, we have a medical nurses, we have a 3%. We can make it open and people will look into that. And I mentioned clearly here that before now, Nigerians or black have been seen black in the lower form. Of course, if you read in the paper in Austria, you only see negative about Africans until when the story changed. One of the story changer, thank you, George, David Alaba. When David came and was playing football, you go somewhere and say, yeah, it's called David. I know David, but I know George. Oh, they will change the narrative to start looking at you. We have Maniela Gozo, the politician. We have Alexis. All of this I mentioned in this book. We have Simon, you know. So these are people who are really fighting. Of course, my own Vanessa, Smart Power, I should not forget my daughter too. Most of these are forefront. Black matters, like Black Matter and everything like that. So there's a lot of things to be done. We remember more food that comes to all these things. So all these things are in there. So we should be able to document our story, be able to come out. We should not be shy. We should be able to join. Of course, I'm not shy to say I'm also political active in Austria. That's why we can use this word here. Thank SPO Magret, member of SPO in the here. And if not that, maybe I'm working with the UN. Maybe today I'll be councillor here, or I will be in the State House of Assembly and offer a ticket more than 2 times without fighting for it. Alexis, thank you very much. I was trying to work and I was given a ticket to contest for State House of Assembly. But the UN said no. It's that you resign your appointment with the UN and go to politics. That is why I'm standing here today. Maybe when I resign or when I retire, I will still go. Let's commission down. I think I want it. So this is just what I want to mention. I want to thank everybody. I'm so happy that we're all here today. It was supposed to be an online program, but I said, no, we just have to get together. It's quite a long time we get together again. And of course, we're still planning to have a direct carnival, so that's my market. I cannot forget it. Sometimes summer next year. So then by that time, hopefully everything will be okay. So I want here over here, of course, I'm still around. We have with VIPs too, the boys to men. We're still going to have an event next year too. So all these things coming up, and I want to thank everybody for being here today. You are part of my story. Like I said, everybody has a page in this book. Just read it through. You'll find something that's clear to you. Yes, we have. The race is on ground. We have it already. Anybody wants to buy it, let me know. And of course, we're going to advertise it more towards December when it's getting closer to the carnival time. So I want to say big thank you to everybody. God bless you all. As you have blessed me today, God will bless you. And every one of us, like we have today, we start writing something. We all have story to tell. People are there to listen for our story. And all of you here today, please, I will not take, I'm in debt to all of you for being here. And Provost is valid for that beautiful presentation. And Madam, thank you very much. These are authors. I'm trying to be like one of them. Probably the next time I'll be able to talk as an author too. Now I'm talking like a politician. So once again, thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please a round of applause for him. I mean, everything he has just said it's the truth is always the truth. If it's not the truth, then it's nothing. I remember when I went to, I said I want to do, what's it called in Nigeria? I say it's genotype. It's either it's AA or AS. I went to Labo, I said, I want assistance. No, really, I was shocked. I said, they checked on their internet, Google, they could not find it in the German. So I left, I was like, okay, so when I get back to Nigeria, I have to check what is my, but I know it, but I just need it on paper, but they could not check it. So that is a very good point that, I mean, for the Austrians, I think some SPO members are here, they can take that back and tell them that they need to do some work on that, to study more of our African DNA. Came back with malaria, was isolated like somebody that came with something else because they don't understand what is malaria. So they don't know. But with everyone's little contribution and push, I believe we'll get to that stage where the change that we want to see will have it. And on this ground, I want to say thank you to all of you who has honored the invitation of engineer. Should I call him engineer Nigeria now? Yeah. I think he deserves that title. Engineer Nigeria. Yes, because the blood is green, white, green. Green, white, green. So once again, thank you for honoring the invitation, for all the donations on behalf of the Ogundele family. We say thank you so much. God bless you for that. Ambassador, thank you for being here with us. This is the second ambassador that will stay in an event till the end. Please, a round of applause. The first one is the one that left before Miss Okeke. She will stay till the end. No matter the event, she will come with her green, white, green Nigeria dress. That's a true Nigerian. And we have another one here, true Nigerian, stay till the end. Please, a round of applause for him again. And all the important people here, I might not know all the names, but I think David Alaba's father is here, Mr. George. Professor is here. Sarah is here. Mama, you're here. Uncle Femi is here. Alexis is here. The president of NANCA is here. Other executives are here. The first is here. I cannot forget Engineer Smart is here. We have representative from the SPU, Margaret, they are here. Please a round of applause for yourself. And the pastor is here, the one who gave us the wonderful prayer, and everyone. And the name he had, Tosh. So please, on this note, let's not forget to tell our stories. Let's try to document them. And I know that we'll continue to gather like this and to tell more and share more of our stories, and then so that the generations coming can have something to refer to and always run back to say, okay, I have something to learn from this experience, and especially avoid some of the mistakes that they might make. This is very important because the African, we are only, the past time we only have the oral transmission of stories and history, but now everything is being documented. And once again, please, let's give a round of applause to Engineer Yemi for doing this wonderful work. And once again, thank you all for coming. Thank you, and thank you. We started with prayers, and it's really good for us to close with prayers, and then we can all, you know, stay and greet. Not where we've met, so stay and greet. Yes, please. Close the prayer. God bless you, man.
Father, we thank you for what you've done in our lives. Father, we thank you for our brother, for having been with him all this year through since he left Nigeria, or he has been born until this day. Father, oh Lord God, we can ask for your continued protection over him and his family. Father, as we leave this place today, guide us and protect us to reach our destiny, our destination as well. Father, oh Lord God, all this we bring to you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you very much.
So please don't forget more launching, more donations. Amazon can just order 1 copy, 2 copies. The more you buy, the more discount you have on Amazon. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we wish you all safe journey back home. Thank you and thank you.